I caught my wife kissing my brother at my birthday party. My entire family told me to get over it. So I cut off contact with all of them. And 5 years later they finally understood what it cost them. My name is Nathan Cole. For most of my life I believed family was everything. That was what my mother always said. Family forgives. Family stays. Family doesn't walk away. I believed her. Even when my younger brother Ryan got away with things I never could. Even when my parents treated his mistakes like accidents and my mistakes like character flaws. Even when I was the one cleaning up the messes he left behind. Ryan was charming. That was the word everyone used. Charming. He could lie with a smile. He could insult you and make you feel like you were too sensitive for noticing. He could take something that wasn't his and somehow make everyone else feel guilty for wanting it back. I was the responsible one. The reliable one. The son who showed up early, stayed late, paid bills on time and never made my parents worry. Ryan was the exciting one. The golden boy. The one who just needed more time. More time to grow up. More time to find himself. More time to stop hurting people. Then there was my wife. Emily. I met her when I was 27. She was beautiful in a quiet way. Soft brown hair. Warm eyes. The kind of smile that made you feel chosen. I loved her more than I knew how to explain. And for 6 years I thought she loved me too. We bought a small house outside Columbus. Nothing fancy. A 3-bedroom with old hardwood floors, a cracked driveway and a backyard big enough for the dog we kept talking about getting. I worked as an operations manager for a logistics company. Emily worked at a dental office. Life was normal. Not perfect. But normal. And I was happy. That was the part that made everything hurt worse. I wasn't miserable. I wasn't suspicious. I wasn't looking for betrayal. I was planning my birthday party. My 34th birthday. Emily insisted on hosting it at our house. She said I worked too hard and deserved one night where everyone celebrated me. Those were her words. You deserve to be celebrated, Nathan. I remember that clearly. Because that night I learned how easily people can celebrate you in one room and betray you in the next. The party started at 7. My parents arrived first. My mother Carol brought her famous potato salad. My father Vince brought 2 bottles of wine and immediately started talking about traffic. My sister Hannah came with her husband and their 2 kids. Then Ryan arrived, late as usual. No gift. No apology. Just a grin and a 6-pack of beer. Birthday boy. He said, pulling me into a hug. I remember smelling his cologne. The same cologne I would smell later in my hallway. Emily came out of the kitchen when he arrived. She smiled. Not a polite smile. Not a sister-in-law smile. Something softer. Something private. I noticed it. Then I told myself not to be ridiculous. That was my mistake. The night went on. People laughed. Music played low in the background. Emily carried trays of food around like the perfect wife. Ryan kept making everyone laugh. My mother kept saying how wonderful it was that we were all together. Around 10:30 I went looking for Emily. Someone had asked for more ice. I checked the kitchen. Not there. Dining room. Not there. Back porch. Not there. Then I heard voices near the hallway by the guest bathroom. Low voices. Whispering. I walked toward them. At first I thought nothing of it. Then I heard Emily laugh. That same soft laugh. The laugh she used to give me when we were newly married. I stopped. The hallway was dim. The music from the living room covered my footsteps. I turned the corner. And there they were. My wife. And my brother. Ryan had one hand on her waist. Emily's fingers were gripping the front of his shirt. And they were kissing. Not a quick accident. Not a drunken mistake. A real kiss. Slow. Familiar. Hungry. For a few seconds I couldn't move. It was like my mind refused to accept what my eyes were seeing. Then Emily opened her eyes. She saw me. Her whole body went stiff. Ryan pulled back and turned around. The first thing he said was not, "I'm sorry." It was worse. "Listen, Nate." Nate. He called me Nate. Like we were having a misunderstanding over a football game. Emily stepped away from him, covering her mouth. I looked at her. Then at him. Then back at her. On my birthday? My voice was quiet. That scared her. "Nathan, please," she whispered. Ryan raised his hands. "Man, it's not what it looks like." I looked at his hand. The hand that had been on my wife's waist. It looked pretty clear. That was when my mother appeared at the end of the hallway. "What's going on?" Nobody answered. Then Hannah came behind her. Then my father. Then my brother-in-law. Within seconds half the party was standing there. Emily started crying. Ryan looked annoyed. My mother looked from me to them. Then she understood. And I watched her make a choice. Not later. Not after hearing both sides. Right there. In that hallway. She chose Ryan. "Nathan," she said carefully, "don't make a scene." I stared at her. A scene? My father stepped forward. "Let's all calm down." I laughed once. It didn't sound like me. I just caught my wife kissing my brother at my birthday party and your first concern is that I don't make a scene? Emily cried harder. Ryan muttered, "It was just a kiss. Just a kiss." Those 3 words did something to me. They turned pain into clarity. I looked at Emily. Was it just a kiss? She wouldn't look at me. That was the answer. My sister whispered, "Oh my God." My mother snapped at her. "Hannah, not now." Then she looked at me again. "People make mistakes." I slowly turned my head toward her. "Mistakes?" "Yes," she said. "Everyone has been drinking. Emotions are high. This doesn't have to destroy the family." I looked at Ryan. He was staring at the floor. Not ashamed. Waiting. Waiting for my parents to fix it for him. Like always. I asked Emily one question. "How long?" She sobbed. "Nathan, how long?" Ryan said, "Don't do this here." I stepped toward him. He stepped back. "How long?" Emily whispered. 3 months. The room went silent. 3 months. While I went to work. While I paid the mortgage. While I kissed her goodnight. While Ryan sat across from me at Sunday dinner and asked me to pass the salt. 3 months. My father rubbed his forehead. "Son, we can talk about this tomorrow." "No," I said. "We can talk about it now." My mother lowered her voice. "You need to think before you say something you regret." I looked at her. I'm the only person in this hallway who should be allowed to speak. Ryan finally looked up. "Okay, I screwed up." "Happy?" "I screwed up." I stared at him. "You didn't screw up. You chose." He rolled his eyes. And that little gesture told me everything I needed to know about him. He wasn't sorry for what he did. He was sorry I caught him. Emily reached for me. I stepped back. "Don't touch me." She flinched. My mother gasped like I had been cruel. "Nathan," she said, "she's your wife." I looked at her. "And he's my brother." Nobody had an answer for that. Then my father said the sentence I will never forget. "Sometimes a man has to swallow his pride for the sake of the family." My pride. That was what he called it. Not betrayal. Not humiliation. Not adultery. Pride. I looked around at the people standing in my hallway. My wife crying. My brother pretending to be sorry. My parents protecting him. My sister too scared to speak. And suddenly I felt very calm. Too calm. I nodded. "You're right." My mother relaxed. Emily looked up. Ryan exhaled. I smiled. A small smile. Cold. I do need to think about the family. Then I walked into the living room. Turned off the music. Everyone looked at me. Friends. Cousins. Neighbors. Coworkers. I raised my glass. "I want to thank everyone for coming tonight." Emily rushed in behind me. "Nathan, don't." I ignored her. "This has been a very memorable birthday." My mother hissed my name. I kept going. I just caught my wife kissing my brother in the hallway. The room froze. "So the party is over." Nobody moved. "Please leave." One by one people grabbed coats, purses, children. Whispers filled the room. Emily cried in the corner. Ryan cursed under his breath. My parents looked like I had embarrassed them. That was the funny part. I had embarrassed them. Not Ryan. Not Emily. Me. When the last guest left, my mother exploded. "How could you humiliate us like that?" I stared at her. "Us? You didn't need to announce it to everyone." I looked at Emily. She didn't need to kiss my brother. My father pointed at me. "Enough." "No," I said. "I think I've had enough." Ryan grabbed his jacket. "I'm leaving." I blocked the doorway. "Not yet." His eyes narrowed. "What? Give me your house key?" He scoffed. "Seriously? Now?" He looked at my parents. My mother said, "Nathan, don't be dramatic." I held out my hand. Ryan dug into his pocket and slapped the key into my palm. Then I looked at Emily. "Yours too." Her face collapsed. "This is my house too." "Then sleep in it alone." She whispered. "Where am I supposed to go?" I looked at Ryan. "With him." She looked like I had slapped her. "Good." That night Emily left with Ryan. My parents followed them. My mother told me at the door. "When you calm down we'll talk." I said nothing. I closed the door. Locked it. Then I stood in the destroyed silence of my own home. There were half-empty glasses on the table. Cake on the counter. Birthday balloons tied to a chair. One of them said, "Another year of happiness." I laughed until I couldn't breathe. Then I sat down at the kitchen table. And I started planning. The next morning Emily called 26 times. I didn't answer. Ryan texted me. "You made this bigger than it needed to be." I screenshotted it. Then blocked him. My mother left a voicemail. "You need to get over this before it ruins the family." I saved that one. My father sent one message. "Come to dinner Sunday. We'll settle this like adults." Adults. That word almost made me smile. I called a divorce attorney Monday morning. Her name was Margaret Voss. She had silver hair, sharp eyes, and the kind of voice that made nonsense feel unwelcome. I told her everything. The party. The kiss. The 3 months. My family's reaction. She listened without interrupting. Then she said, "Do you want to save the marriage?" "No." "Good. That makes this easier." Over the next 2 weeks I moved quietly. Bank accounts first. We had one joint savings account. I transferred half into a new account. Exactly half. Then I changed the locks. Legal because Emily had voluntarily left and I had documented everything. Then I gathered records. Phone logs. Messages. Security camera footage from the hallway. Yes. We had cameras. Not in private areas. But one pointed toward the hallway from the living room. It had captured Ryan and Emily disappearing together. Then me finding them. Then the entire confrontation. No audio. But enough. When Emily came back 2 weeks later, she brought my mother. That told me everything. I opened the door but left the chain on. Emily looked exhausted. My mother looked angry. "Nathan," she said, "open the door." "No," Emily cried. "I need my clothes." I packed them. I pointed to 3 boxes on the porch. My mother's face went red. "You put your wife's things outside like trash?" "No," I said. "Trash gets picked up on Thursdays." Emily sobbed. My mother looked like she wanted to slap me. "You are being cruel." I leaned closer to the crack in the door. Cruel was 3 months of lying. My mother lowered her voice. "Ryan is devastated too." I stared at her. That was when I knew. Really knew. They were never going to understand. Not because they couldn't. Because understanding would require them to condemn him. And they would never do that. "Then comfort him," I said. "I'm done." My mother's voice turned cold. "If you go through with this divorce, don't expect us to choose sides." I smiled. "You already did." Then I closed the door. The divorce took 7 months. Emily tried to reconcile twice. Then she tried to blame me. She said I worked too much. She said Ryan made her feel seen. She said the kiss at the party was the first time they had been physical in weeks. As if that mattered. Ryan avoided me completely. But he made the mistake of telling mutual friends that Emily and I had been basically separated emotionally. Margaret sent his lawyer a letter. After that he stopped talking. My parents begged me to attend one family meeting. Just one. I agreed. Not because I wanted repair. Because I wanted closure. It happened at my parents' house. The same dining room where we had eaten birthdays, holidays, graduations. Emily sat beside Ryan. That told me more than any apology could. My mother started. "We all love each other. That's why this hurts." I interrupted. "No, this hurts because they betrayed me and you defended them." My father slammed his hand on the table. "You will not disrespect your mother." I looked at him. "She taught me how." His face darkened. Emily started crying again. Ryan sighed. "Can we stop acting like I murdered someone?" I looked at him. "No. You just took my wife." He said. "She made her own choice. For once you're right." Emily looked down. My mother reached across the table. "Nathan, please. Divorce is so final." So was what they did. My father leaned back. "If you cut off your family over one mistake, that's on you." I stood up. 3 months is not one mistake. Then I looked at all of them. "This is the last time I'm sitting at this table." My mother froze. "What does that mean?" "It means I'm done. Nathan. No holidays. No birthdays. No Sunday dinners. No calls. No updates. No access to my life." My sister Hannah, who had been silent until then, started crying. "Please don't do this." I looked at her. "You watched them defend him." She whispered. "I know. And you said nothing." She looked down. I nodded. "That was your choice." My mother stood. "You can't just cut off your family." I pushed in my chair. "Watch me." Ryan laughed bitterly. "You'll come back." I looked at him. "No, Ryan, that's you." Then I walked out. 3 months later the divorce was final. Emily got a settlement. I kept the house and bought out her share. Then I sold it. I didn't want the walls. I didn't want the kitchen. I didn't want the hallway. I didn't want any place where I had learned how little I mattered. I moved to Denver. New job. New number. New apartment. New life. At first silence felt strange. No family group chat. No mother calling to remind me about birthdays. No Ryan asking for money. No Emily beside me in bed. Just silence. Then one morning I woke up and realized something. The silence was peace. For the first time in my life nobody was demanding that I be reasonable about being hurt. Nobody was asking me to forgive faster so they could feel better. Nobody was using the word family like a leash. So I built. I worked hard. Harder than I ever had. The logistics company in Denver was growing fast and I understood systems. Broken systems. Efficient systems. Human systems. Within 2 years I became regional director. Within 3 I had equity. Within 4 I left and started my own supply chain consulting firm. By year 5 Cole Strategic Logistics had contracts in 6 states. I owned my condo. I had savings. Employees. Respect. I had a life no one in my family had touched. Then 5 years after my birthday party my sister found me. The email came on a Thursday. Subject line. Please read this. I almost deleted it, but I opened it. Nathan, I know you may hate me. You have every right. Dad is sick. Mom is overwhelmed. Ryan is in trouble. Emily left him. Everything has fallen apart. I'm not asking you to forgive us. I'm asking you to hear me. Please. Hannah. I read it twice. Emily left him. I felt nothing. Not joy. Not sadness. Just recognition. Consequences had finally arrived. I closed the laptop. An hour later another email came. This one from my mother. Nathan, I miss my son. Please come home. We need you. That last sentence told me the truth. Not I love you. Not, I'm sorry. We need you. I did not respond. The next week Margaret, my old attorney, called me. That was unexpected. Nathan, she said. Someone contacted my office asking how to reach you. Who? Your brother. I laughed once. What does he want? He said it concerns a business matter. Of course it did. I told her to forward the documents, not my contact information. 2 days later I received a scanned letter. Ryan had opened a small freight brokerage company. It failed. Badly. He owed money to vendors. A lot of money. One of the companies he owed was a client of mine. That was how my name had come up. He wanted me to help negotiate. I stared at the letter for a long time. Then I looked deeper. Ryan had borrowed from my parents. He had taken out credit cards in his name. He had convinced my father to co-sign a loan. My parents' house was at risk. The same house where they told me to get over it. The same dining room where they chose him. The same roof under which I stopped being their son. I flew back to Ohio 2 weeks later. Not for them. For business. One of my clients had a warehouse acquisition nearby. But I decided to visit. Not to save anyone. To see the ending. My parents' house looked smaller than I remembered. The lawn was overgrown. The paint around the porch was peeling. My father's car was gone. Ryan's truck was in the driveway. I parked behind it. Knocked once. My mother opened the door. She looked older, much older. For a second I saw the woman who used to hold my hand when I was small. Then I saw the woman who told me to get over my wife kissing my brother. Nathan, she whispered. I stepped inside. My father sat in a recliner thinner than before, an oxygen tube under his nose. Hannah was there. So was Ryan. He looked terrible. Bloated face. Tired eyes. Same entitled posture. Emily was not there. Good. My mother reached for me. I stepped back. Her hands froze. Ryan scoffed. Still dramatic. I looked at him. 5 years. And still not one lesson learned. My father said weakly. Son. I looked at him. You lost the right to call me that. My mother started crying. Hannah whispered, Nathan, please. I set my briefcase on the coffee table. Ryan looked at it. What's that? The reason I'm here. I opened it. Inside were documents. Vendor claims. Loan guarantees. Debt schedules. Foreclosure warnings. I placed them on the table. One by one, just like I had imagined doing for years. My father stared at them. How did you get these? Your creditors hired one of my clients. My firm reviewed the exposure. Ryan's face changed. You're involved with this? I smiled slightly. In a way. My mother's voice shook. Nathan, we're going to lose the house. I know. We need help. I know. Ryan leaned forward. Look, I know we've had issues. I raised a hand. He stopped. No. You don't get to shrink what you did into issues. His jaw tightened. Fine. I'm sorry. I looked at him. There it was. The apology. Small. Late. Useless. What are you sorry for? He blinked. What? Say it. He looked at my mother. She nodded desperately. Ryan sighed. I'm sorry I kissed Emily. I laughed. The sound made everyone flinch. You're sorry for the kiss? He looked confused. That's what started this. No. I said. That's what exposed it. The room went silent. You're sorry you got caught at my birthday party. You're sorry people found out. You're sorry your life didn't become easier after taking mine apart. Ryan looked away. My mother whispered. Please don't do this. I turned to her. Do what? Punish us. I stared at her. For 5 years I did nothing to you. She cried harder. I left. I stayed gone. I built a life. Everything happening here came from choices you made after I was gone. My father coughed. We helped Ryan because he had no one. I looked at him. He had you. I had no one because of you. That landed. Even Ryan looked uncomfortable. Hannah wiped her eyes. I should have spoken up. I looked at her. Yes. I was scared. I know. I'm sorry. For the first time I believed someone in that room. But belief did not erase consequence. My mother reached toward the documents. What can we do? I closed the briefcase. You can sell the house before the bank forces it. She gasped. No, that is the best option. My father's eyes filled with tears. This is our home. It was mine too once. No one spoke. Until you made it clear I was less important than keeping Ryan comfortable. Ryan stood. You think you're better than us now? I looked at him. No. He stepped closer. You show up with your suit and your money and your little papers. Sit down, Ryan. My father said. Ryan ignored him. You wanted this. You wanted to see us broken. I looked directly at him. No. I wanted to be left alone. He had no answer. That was the truth people like Ryan never understand. I had not spent 5 years plotting revenge. I had spent 5 years healing. They had spent 5 years protecting him from consequences. And now they were surprised when consequences became too heavy. My mother whispered, Can you help us? I nodded slowly. Yes. Hope moved through the room. Dangerous. Desperate. I let it sit there for 1 second. Then I said, But I won't. My mother broke. My father closed his eyes. Ryan cursed. Hannah looked down. I picked up my briefcase. My mother sobbed. We're your family. I stopped. Turned back. No. You were my family. She covered her mouth. Family doesn't tell a man to get over betrayal because the truth is inconvenient. My father whispered, I was wrong. I looked at him. 5 years ago I needed those words. 5 years ago they might have saved something. Now they were just sounds. Yes. I said. You were. Ryan said. So that's it? You just walk away? I looked at my brother. My mother's favorite son. My wife's affair partner. The man everyone protected until he ruined them too. Yes. He laughed bitterly. You're cold. No, I said. I'm finally warm somewhere else. Then I walked to the door. My mother called after me. Nathan, please. Don't leave like this. I paused. Looked back one last time. You told me to get over it. My voice was calm. So I did. And I left. 6 months later my parents sold the house. Ryan moved out of state. Emily, from what Hannah told me in one final email, had divorced him after finding out he cheated on her too. That did not surprise me. A man who betrays his brother does not become loyal because the woman changes. My father passed away the following year. I did not attend the funeral. Some people will call that cruel. Maybe it is. But I had already buried my father 5 years earlier in the hallway of my own house when he looked at my pain and called it pride. Hannah and I speak now. Not often. Carefully. She apologized without asking for anything in return. That mattered. My mother still sends letters sometimes. I do not answer most of them. Not because I hate her. Because peace is expensive, and I already paid for mine. As for me, I remarried. Her name is Claire. She knows the whole story. The birthday party. The kiss. The family meeting. The silence. All of it. She once asked me if I ever regretted cutting them off. I thought about it. Really thought about it. Then I said no. Because cutting them off was not revenge. It was survival. I caught my wife kissing my brother at my birthday party. My family told me to get over it. So I did. I got over the marriage. I got over the betrayal. I got over the version of myself who begged people to love him properly. And eventually I got over them. That was the part they never expected. They thought I would come back angry. They thought I would come back lonely. They thought I would come back needing family. But I came back whole. And when they finally needed me, I gave them the same thing they gave me. Nothing. Thank you so much for watching until the end. If you really like our videos, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Have a great day.